Okay, good morning, all of you. Am I
Good
audible?
morning, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Good.
okay. Thank you. Okay, so the problem is there is no current actually. So uh, I don't know how much time it will last my laptop, but still okay. So just a second. Hmm. So, screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
I mean, okay. So today's topic for discussion is elasticity of supply. As see here, this is a 14-page document, but that much is not required actually. So whatever portion is required, I'll tell you. I'll be giving you a shorter version of this format. I'll be giving you a small document on this. So could be of 2-3 pages, maximum 4 pages. So price elasticity of supply, and you'll find it absolutely easy to understand this concept price elasticity of supply. Reason is you have already discussed the concepts of elasticity of demand in unit 1. That is, one is price elasticity of demand, second one is income elasticity of demand, third one is cross elasticity of demand. So that is why you'll find this very easy, this concept price elasticity of demand. So let's start this. Okay, so I said you will find this absolutely easy. Okay, so it starts with the law of supply tells us the direction of relationship between price and quantity supplied of a commodity. But it doesn't tell us about the quantum of change in supply due to certain change in price of the commodity. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because law of supply only tells us the direction of both the variables, that is price and quantity supplied. But what it doesn't tell us about the quantum of changes, the quantity of changes in supply due to certain change in price of the commodity. For this purpose, we have to study the concept of elasticity of supply. So very similar to the concept of price elasticity of demand. Yes, so not required. I'm skipping the portion that is not required. So I'll be giving you a shorter version of this. Don't worry. Right now, you need to focus only to understand. Elasticity of demand, meaning of price elasticity of supply, sorry, meaning of price elasticity of supply. And the very first two lines, the definition you'll find price elasticity of supply measures the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied of a commodity to change in its price. Absolutely similar to the definition of price elasticity of demand. Only difference is here you are writing a word called supplied instead of demanded, right? That's the only difference. Rest of the statement is same. So price elasticity of supply measures the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied of a commodity to change in its price. Okay, so that's the definition. And I'm skipping the portion not required, and I'm directly jumping to what is necessary for you to understand, and where I am highlighting this that gives you the formula of price elasticity of supply. And as you can see, the formula is very well to the concept of price formula for price elasticity of demand. So this is percentage change in QX. QX means quantity supplied of X divided by percentage change in price of X. In price elasticity, what was the formula? It was percentage change in quantity demand of X divided by percentage change in price of X. Here it is percentage change in quantity supply of X. That's the only difference. And the same denominator that is percentage change in price. So this is the formula you'll be using. This is the formula you'll be using to compute a price elasticity of supply. So any data would be given, price would be such, quantity demand would be such, price increases or decreases to some level as a response to that quantity supply rises or falls to some level, compute price elasticity of demand. Simply find out the percentage change in supply, then divide it by percentage change in price, you'll get price elasticity of supply. Now the degrees, if you remember, we had 5 different cases of price elasticity of supply. Sorry, price elasticity of demand. And same way, you'll find here also there are 5 different concepts. So the coefficient of price elasticity of supply varies from 0 to infinity, and that's what exactly you found in case of price elasticity of demand also. There also the coefficient of price elasticity of demand varied between 0 to infinity. And we had 5 cases, I said, and you can see here 5 cases. These cases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5 different cases of price elasticity of demand, very similar to the cases of price elasticity of demand. So number 1, perfectly inelastic supply. Remind yourselves, we had a concept called perfectly inelastic demand, where the price elasticity of demand value was equal to 0. Here it is, you can see ES equal to 0. ES here means price elasticity of supply. So 0 symbol, you can take any symbol. ES it takes, so you can take any symbol. And inelastic or less than unit elastic supply. Remind yourselves, we had a concept like price elasticity of demand less than 1. So inelastic supply. Then we had a concept where it is equal to 1. Remind yourselves, same concept is here also. Unitary elastic supply equal to 1. And we had a concept where the value is greater than 1. Same value you'll be finding here also. Elastic or more than unit elastic, where ES is greater than 1. If you are getting a value which is greater than 1, it is elastic. Then we had a concept also where the elasticity value was equal to infinity, and here also you'll find a value which is equal to infinity, and that is called perfectly elastic supply. So all these same 5 different cases you're going to find. And the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be explaining the 5 graphs associated with all these 5 cases. Correct? So we had similar 5 cases under price elasticity of demand. So first one, perfectly inelastic supply. First one is perfectly inelastic supply. And the graph is like this. You can see very similar to the graph that you had for price elasticity of demand equal to 0. Common sense says when it will be 0. Remind yourself the formula. When the numerator will be 0, then the value will be 0, and that's exactly you'll find here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there should not be any problem in understanding this graph. As you can see, price is measured on the vertical axis. Quantity supplied is measured on the horizontal axis. And what if we'll apply the formula? And the table I can, like you can see On the basis of this table, this graph is done. And how this table is done, let us look at this. Price is rising from 10 per dozen to 20 per dozen to 30 per dozen. But what happens to quantity supplied? It is same. It is same 50 throughout. So, and if you'll draw a graph as according to the table, you'll get a graph like this exactly. And what if you'll apply the formula? Percentage change in quantity supplied. As you can see, quantity supply is not changing. That means 0%. 0% divided by any percent from 10 to 20, 100%. So 0% by 100%. 0% by 50%, 0% by 10%, 0% by any percent is equal to 0, right? So this is a case of perfectly inelastic supply. As you can see, this is a case of perfectly inelastic supply. So supply of a commodity is said to be perfectly inelastic when the quantity supplied of a commodity does not change at all in response to change in price of the commodity. And that's what exactly you find in the table as well as in the graph. Quantity supply doesn't change at all in response to a change in price. That's what you find here in the graph, in the table. Both in both the cases, that's the exact thing you find, that quantity supply does not respond in any way to change in price, and that is called a case of perfectly inelastic supply. Okay, so this is the first one. Same graph that you had for price, perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, next graph. As you can see, this graph is different. This is a case where price elasticity of supply is less than 1. Less than 1. And just look at this table. Price rises from 20 rupees per kg to 40 rupees per kg. As a response to that, quantity supplied rises from 100 to 150 quintals. And if a graph will have to draw on the basis of the table, the graph is going to look like this. What is the difference you find? Can anyone respond? What's the difference you find between this graph, price elasticity of supply less than 1, and the graph we had for price elasticity of demand less than 1? Anyone who can respond?
Sir, the
What's the
slopes.
difference you? Yes, slopes. Can you please elaborate one more line? Slopes, yes, absolutely right. How? Slopes.
So here the
Correct.
slope is positive, but in
Exactly.
there
Exactly.
it was negative.
Exactly. Thank you very much. That's the only difference. And the reason is obvious, because we had an inverse relationship between price and quantity demand in law of demand, but we have a positive relationship between uh, price and quantity supply, and that is only the reason why you see upward sloping graphs here. So that's the only difference. Absolutely right answer. And you can see the graph, the table. Price is rising from 20 to 40, as you can see, but quantity supply is rising only from 100 to 200 here. So the graph, it will be how much by how much? It will be 50% by 100%. It will be 50% by 100%, and 50% by 100% would be 0.5. So any value you take, these are one example. This is one example. Any value you take uh, could be 20% by 50%, 50% by 100%, 30% by 70%. Any percent you take of your choice. Only thing you need to do is that the numerator should be less than the denominator. The numerator should be less than the denominator. Then only you'll find a value which is less than 1. And the graph, you remember, you need to draw it very steep. Now, what's the trick to draw the graph? You need to draw it very steep. That's the secret of drawing this graph. So less than 1. And what if, okay, so same way I'll go. I'll directly jump to, let's say, first greater than 1. then I'll come to equal to 1. Greater than 1, as you can see here, look at the table. Price rises from 10 to 20, but quantity supplied rises from 20 to 50. Correct? And graph, as you can see here, the graph is same, but only difference is the graph is flat. The graph is flatter compared to the previous graph, where we discussed a case which is less than 1. Here, the price elasticity of supply is greater than 1. That is why you see, what you see is a flatter supply curve. And percentage wise, if you apply the formula, in the above supply schedule, price of the commodity increases by 100%. 10 to 20, exactly 100%, but its quantity supply increases by 150%. Yes, so 150%. So 150% divided by 100%, 1.5, greater than 1. So any percentage you take, but you'll find that the numerator is greater than the denominator, right? Based on a supply curve like this, which is drawn really flat, you'll always find the numerator is exceeding the denominator. So that could be 20% by 10%, that could be 150% by 100%, that could be 200% by 100%. So you'll always find the numerator is exceeding the denominator, and that is why you'll find price elasticity of supply value greater than 1. Okay, so this is 1. And what's the theoretical meaning? Everywhere they're writing, when the percentage change in quantity supply of a commodity is greater than the percentage change in its price, the supply of a commodity is said to be greater than unit elastic. And that's what exactly I said. Okay, next is a case where it is equal to 1, and this is the graph, unit elastic. Look at the graph, look at the table. Price is 10, quantity supply is 20. Price rises from 10 to 20, quantity supply rises from 20 to 40. Price rises from 20 to 30, quantity supply rises from 40 to 60. Okay, so graph exactly looks like this, and common sense says graph would be this line would be at a 45-degree angle, because for greater than 1 we had a really flatter supply curve, for less than 1 we had a steeper supply curve, and for unitary elastic supply or equal to 1 value, common sense says that we will be drawing the supply curve at a 45-degree angle. That's what you see in the graph. And on putting the value for formula, you can see here when the above supply schedule of a commodity X shows that when the price increases by 100%, quantity supply also increases by 100%. So 100% by 100% is 1. And when price increases by 50%, the quantity supply also increases by 50%. So 50% by 50%, 1. So this is how unity elastic. And the meaning, when percentage change in quantity supply of a commodity is equal to the percentage change in its price, this supply of a commodity is said to be unitary elastic. So that's exactly. And the last one, I've already explained this one, greater than 1. And the last one is perfectly elastic supply. The value is equal to infinity. The value is in, I'm in a hurry because my charge is at 11% now. Okay, so I'm through almost. And we have a case where ES is equal to infinity. When the quantity supply of a commodity expands or contracts to any extent without any change or with an infinitely small change in its price, the supply of a commodity is called perfectly elastic. So either there is no change in price or there is infinitely small change in price, very, very, very small change in price. If quantity supply changes, we'll have a case called perfectly elastic supply. Look at the graph, price is not rising at all. It's throughout same 10, 10, 10, 10, but quantity supply is rising. from 100 to 200 to 300 to 400. And what if he'll draw a graph on the basis of the table? He'll be drawing the graph like this, horizontal to the parallel to the horizontal axis, and putting the formula, you'll be putting a 0 in the denominator. Why? Because you do not find any change in price. So it could be 50% by 0, it could be 100% by 0, it could be 30% by 0, 100% by 0, whatever percent divided by 0%, because that's the percentage change in price. And you'll be getting a value which is equal to infinity. Equal to infinity value, right? So these are the 5 different cases. Okay, I thought you'll find it absolutely easy because you already know what is price elasticity of demand. So that is why. So these are the 5 different cases, correct? So, okay, I'm done for today. I'm done for today. See, I have already told you I'll be holding a surprise test someday, right? So be prepared for that. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So be ready for a surprise test on someday in the class. Okay. Okay. So thank you. My lappy will shut down. Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir. Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. 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 Thank you.